with Atlanta. No debates, no speculation, just the info. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on.
Pick up the drums. At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah,
gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need.
Hey. I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power. Shine, flies. No time to waste while it's passing you by. Shine, flies. Be patient, 'cause good things happen in time. We gon' get it right. We gon' get it right. We gon' get it right. We gon' get it right.
Protests and anthems, yes, we chanting. A movement of people, it's like we dancing to the ministry of. It's the energy of, in memory of them that we love. The trinity of the people, the peace, the power, the truth. We speak the powers even louder. We can say it blacker, we can say it prouder. A woman vice president that went to Howard. Now we talk helping black businesses, and our differences is magnificent. Bringing light to the point where the prisons is. I was told good life is where forgiveness lives. The ascension is to leave what's left behind and feed the seeds with deeds that bless the mind, caress the mind, and question justify with you and God and time are best aligned.
Shine, flies, no time to waste while it's passing you by. Shine, flies, be patient, 'cause good things happen in time. We gon' get it right, we gon' get it right. We gon' get it right. We gon' get it right.
How can I be a better father, son, a better grandson, honoring Fannie Lou's and the Fred Hamptons, the Harriets, the chariots that carry us to barriers.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, your host and White House correspondent. I'm in touch until you be in touch. Follow me on all the social media platforms at Dr. Nii-Quartelai. Just type in Dr. Nii-Q, DRNIIQ, and there I am, fresh for you to follow. Also, be sure to download the KBLA app to listen to us live or on demand, or simply tell Alexa to play KBLA Talk 1580. And might I say, our new KBLA app, we've given it a little bit of a facelift, in case you haven't noticed. And one of my favorite features on the app is the open mic feature. And so if you ever want to shout back, use the open mic feature. And we just might feature your question, your comment, your hot take live on the air. Last but not least, subscribe to A More Perfect Union podcast. That way you'll never miss an episode. Now, I am looking forward to being back in LA on Sunday. Fingers crossed it'll be in time to ride with pride and sweat for a cause. My friends over at Better Brothers Los Angeles are riding with a purpose. They're taking over Soul Cycle in West Hollywood for a high energy class. Every dollar raised funds Better Brother LA's vital programs, their grants, their scholarships, which support the Black LGBTQ community. So if you are ready to sweat and connect and give back all in one powerful ride, you should take part in this event. The event's open to all. It's open to all. Cycling shoes and refreshments will be provided. Get your ticket and RSVP at ridewithpride.eventbrite.com. That's ridewithpride.eventbrite.com. It's at 2:00 in the afternoon on Sunday. And so you can go out late on Saturday and still sleep in and ride with pride. And so I'm going to try and make it, but if I can't, I'm sure our leaders, learners, and listeners got me covered. All right, now it's time for your national news roundup. It's time for you to decide the good, bad, and ugly headlines of the day. Kicking us off, NBC News is reporting that there's a poll out that says that more Americans oppose the U.S. strikes on Iran as MAGA supporters, no surprise there, they line up with Trump. President Trump's decision to launch airstrikes on several nuclear facilities in Iran has divided Americans. It's exposed the fault lines within the coalition of both parties, according to an NBC News decision desk poll powered by SurveyMonkey. Among U.S. adults, 45% oppose the airstrikes versus 38% who support them. An additional 18% of Americans said that they neither support nor oppose the strikes, illustrating how fluid the situation is. Support for the airstrikes divided predictably along partisan lines. Among Democrats, 77% oppose the airstrikes, with 61% strongly opposing them. In a near mirror image, 78% of Republicans support the airstrikes, with 60% strongly supporting them. Independents are much more divided, 45% opposing the airstrikes, 21% supporting, 34% neither support nor oppose. And so, in case you're wondering, why is all this conversation still happening around the strikes in Iran? It's because we've hit yet another political fault line, to say the least. Moving along, the Supreme Court today paves the way for South Carolina and other states to defund Planned Parenthood. We already know who this is going to impact, particularly in the state of South Carolina. The U.S. Supreme Court has paved the way for South Carolina to kick Planned Parenthood out of its Medicaid program over its status as an abortion provider, a decision that could embolden red states across the country to effectively defund the reproductive healthcare organization. The case, Medina versus Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, centers around a 2018 executive order from South Carolina's Governor Henry McMaster that blocked clinics that provided abortions from receiving Medicaid reimbursements. Medicaid, might I add, is the U.S. government's main health insurance program for low-income people. About 80 million people rely on it. And so, in some parts of the country, particularly in rural areas, Planned Parenthood is all you got. And because of this decision, it may cause Planned Parenthood locations to shut down. What are folks going to do? Where are they going to get their health care? Where are they supposed to get their reproductive care? Abortion makes up a very tiny, tiny, tiny piece of what Planned Parenthood clinics across the country do. Very small part of what they do. There's so much more that they do, and it's so much more that people are going to miss out on because of this decision. Moving along, Zohran Little Muhammad Mamdani is anti-Semitic socialist communist who will destroy the great city of New York. That's not me saying that. That's Representative Andy Ogles. Randy Ogles, he's representing Tennessee's 5th congressional district. He is a conservative. And that's what he said in a post on X today. He said he needs to be deported, which is why I'm calling for him to be subjected to denaturalization proceedings. He sent a letter that he posted, a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, with a request for the Department of Justice to open an investigation into whether Zohran Mamdani, currently a candidate for mayor of New York City, should be subjected to denaturalization proceedings under the code that he cites here. That is how upside down we are. That is how vitriolic the atmosphere is, that you have a sitting member of Congress that is calling for the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York City to be denaturalized and deported. If he's successful at that, what does it mean for other immigrant Americans, Americans from immigrant families, folks with mixed immigration status? What does it mean? Troubled times. When we come forward, I'm looking forward to being in conversation with Todd Belcore. He's a civil rights attorney. He's also executive director of Social Change based in Chicago. We're going to stay on New York for a little bit because there's a lot happening in New York that may be coming to a city near you. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time. Whenever news breaks, while we're on the air, it's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580. And we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. For this free information, call 800-433-8909. 800-433-8909. That's 800-433-8909. Or simply visit godra.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hit me! National news of consequence, informed opinion, and analysis beyond the headlines. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, and any moment now we'll be joined with Todd Belcore, the Executive Director of Social Change. He is a 7-time national award-winning lawyer, mediator, advocate, and law lecturer. He's also a co-founder with over 20 years of experience fighting to remove barriers in justice and opportunity. That represents so much of what folks are talking about related to the New York primary election, the New York City primary election. There is so much that is happening in New York right now that I think it's important to talk with a leader from the front lines that can help us make it make sense. And so, Todd, welcome back to the show. How are you? Todd, are you there?
I'm here.
Welcome.
It's going in and out a little bit. Let me see if I can.
No worries, no worries. While you're getting that together, we are going to let me lay a little bit of the groundwork. Let me lay a little bit of the groundwork here, so that folks who are less familiar with what is being talked about following that New York City election that folks have been buzzing about all week long. Todd, I want to talk to you about the history-making Democratic nominee for mayor of New York. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
All right, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And so, we've been talking a lot about the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York, but we're not talking enough about who I thought the big winner was. It was not just our friend Zohran Mamdani. It was ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting made it possible for Zohran Mamdani to win. Talk to us about ranked choice voting and how it's rightfully sort of reopening this debate over sort of a new system of electing leaders.
That's right. That's right. And thank you for the opportunity to join you all, Doctor. It's always a privilege and an honor. But you're right. I mean, not only is Mamdani a winner and a self-identified 33-year-old Democratic Socialist, which is history-making and unique and noteworthy and newsworthy in of itself, the fact that this is the largest election in which ranked choice voting played a significant role is kind of a sneak peek to the future of this country. I mean, it allows opportunities for people who aren't familiar with ranked choice to not only vote for your primary candidate, your first choice, but also rank your subsequent choices. So in instances where, the first top two vote getters are considered after the remaining people are lopped off, then the partial votes come in relating to the other candidates. So what it requires then is candidates don't have to just speak to just their base and just throw red meat and really rejoice and revel and get real hay out of polarization. It requires consensus building. It requires building bridges. It requires something that's kind of awkward to say, cross endorsement, saying, okay, well, even if you endorse Cuomo as your initial candidate, can I be your second choice? So that requires a lot of additional conversation, a lot of additional negotiating, but most importantly, a lot of broader appeal. And I think that's what the country needs right now in this polarized situation that we're in.
Yeah, and for folks who are less familiar, New York City is among 63 jurisdictions, which include cities, states, and counties that have in recent years implemented ranked choice voting for some or all of their elections. It seems to me that this represents perhaps the best hope that Democrats have in terms of coming out of the wilderness, right? I mean, there's so much talk about, sort of moderate Democrats versus, left-wing Democrats, Democratic socialists like Zohran and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders, the squad, right? It seems to me that ranked choice voting is worth a try. And I don't know how you feel, but my suspicion is that the Democratic National Committee probably wasn't very happy with this outcome, as were a lot of institutions that were expecting a moderate Democrat to be victorious in New York.
Yeah, no matter what party is in control of a particular state or city, no one who's in control wants any upsetting the boat, any rocking the boat. And certainly something like ranked choice voting has the opportunity to do that for the reasons we mentioned. I mean, it gives candidates a chance to broaden their appeal, but also something we haven't talked about yet, but it's really important to highlight in this election, the notion of public financing gives candidates an opportunity to stick around longer so more people can hear their message and actually see if any of it resonates. And in the instance where you're talking about things like affordability and taxing the rich and things that were really a priority for Mamdani, I think those are things that are ubiquitously sought after and really poll well. But a lot of the institutional, more traditional candidates stay away from some of those things because they don't want to violate some of their interests. So I think this is going to be an interesting test to see what other states, other cities, other jurisdictions adopt this. But also pairing that with public financing gives people a chance, for underdogs a real chance. If their message is strong, the charisma is there, and the retail politics is what it needs to be in terms of shaking hands and being in communities, to really get the representative democracy that we've been promised for our entire existence. And this may be our best chance to get it.
Now, on one hand, there is reason to celebrate ranked choice voting and its ability to be able to give lesser known candidates a real shot at becoming the nominee, the party nominee in New York City in this case. But the New York Times is reporting that Mr. Mamdani was victorious, even though he lost many of New York City's mostly Black neighborhoods. A New York Times analysis of the results showed that Andrew Cuomo dominated in precincts where at least 70% of residents are Black, more than doubling Mr. Mamdani's support, 59% to 26%. And so on one hand, we're celebrating, the power of ranked choice voting, particularly for lesser known candidates who may not be the establishment's pick. But when it comes to Black voters, it seems that this process may have diluted the Black voice in this race. Do you see that? Do you see it that way?
I see it. It's an important discussion to talk about, no question. I think at the end of the day, Black voters are the backbone and really the strength of the Democratic Party. And anytime a candidate wins without the majority of Black support, it does make you wonder. But I think in this instance, it's more about the depth of relationships that Cuomo has built with the Black community, more than it's about some sort of speaking of not necessarily being in alignment with the policies of Mamdani or some of the things that he's saying. So when you have a chance to build relationships with someone like Cuomo over such a long period of time, there's a loyalty there. So I think this is more of a loyalty test than actually a test of who has the better policies and who better represents Black people. So I think, people oftentimes kind of roll to the person they went to prom with, that kind of thing. And I think in this case, especially Mamdani being so young and not necessarily have the track record in the Black community, it's easier for people in our community to go with a safer bet than someone who's young, is relatively untested, untried, and, risking, the hell we're catching in the basket of someone who may not necessarily have the relationships or the ability to really make the change that they're saying they're going to create.
But in a city like New York, where 25% of voters in the city are Black, if those Black voters didn't show up for him in the primary, what should give him confidence? What should give Democrats confidence that Black voters are going to show up for them in November?
The alignment. I mean, I think the alignment of the policy portfolio, the policy priorities, align with the priorities of the Black community, things like affordability, things like making sure there's greater access to jobs, greater access to affordable housing. These are things that are definitely part and parcel to any platform that's intended to gear toward a Black community. I think maybe the question was whether or not the practicability was actually there for young Mamdani, but he has time between now and, of course, the general election to shore that up and build relationships and try to build whatever sort of confidence he can to make sure that that number is inverted, because he'll need certainly Black people in order to win the general election. It's not guaranteed that Democrats are going to win the mayoral election in New York, especially when you're talking about not having the majority of the Black vote.
And especially when you have a incumbent Black mayor that was the Democratic nominee for mayor, who is now an independent running for mayor. And so lots of wild cards in this New York City mayoral race. I'm sure we'll continue to keep our eye on it. But I would be remiss if I didn't really talk about the historic nature of this win for Mamdani. He's an immigrant from Uganda and Indian descent. He would be the city's first Muslim mayor, and at 33 years old, he would be the second youngest mayor. What do you make of that?
It's history making. It is newsworthy. I mean, it shows his grit. It shows his ability to build bridges. I mean, sure, you can say ranked choice helped in some way, but there's no question that he's not a strong candidate in his own regard. And it's, if he can continue to pull this out and build the bridges with the Black community and shore up some of the gaps in his resume, so to speak, in terms of experience, things like that, really the sky is the limit.
Yeah. For folks who are less familiar, He has won elected office before. He serves in the New York State Assembly, representing Queens in the New York State Assembly. But we know there's a difference between folks who have legislative experience and folks who have executive experience. And we're talking about the largest city in the country.
That's right.
Just when it comes to law enforcement alone, there are so many headaches in managing New York City.
Yeah, no, there's no question. There's no more thankless position than being a mayor in general, but particularly so in New York. You could see by the unceremonious exit of Adams having to be pushed to an independent ticket. So we'll see. This is something to watch, and you're right to highlight it. And it's going to be fireworks between now and Election Day. So looking forward to seeing everything unfold.
Well, one of the things that folks will sure be watching is Mr. Mamdani's position on public safety. He has proposed creating a Department of Community Safety separate from the police department to respond to people having mental health crises and to expand violence interrupter programs. In April, he told the New York Times that the new department would free up police resources to increase clearance rates for major crimes.
Yeah.
He's also vowed that he would not, quote, defund the police. This is an issue that resonates with Black folks and folks of color in New York and across the country who remain over-policed and whose encounters with law enforcement statistically are more deadly and oftentimes result in more harm than other groups of folks. When we come forward, I want to get your take on Mr. Mamdani's position and what his position could mean for police departments across the country if the mayor of America's largest city is Mr. Mamdani in November. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More with Todd Belcore, the Executive Director of Social Change, when we come forward.
The audience is listening. Thought-provoking, eye-opening, heart-rendering. This is where authentic voices meet powerful discussions on culture, community, and change. This is where Black voices matter. He's breaking boundaries, amplifying diverse perspectives, and tackling the issues that matter most to you. You're inside A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nii-Quartelai on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island with BIN News Now. The White House confirms the FBI is investigating the leak of an intel report challenging the effectiveness of the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuke sites. The organization was looking to challenge the state from banning it from taking part in the Medicaid program because of the abortion care it provides. A heat dome impacting millions across the central and eastern U.S. is starting to lift. Forecasters say temperatures will start falling in the Northeast, where places like New York and New England have been reporting record heat. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker will seek a third term next year. Pritzker says his state is standing at the center of the fight to make life more affordable. There are also reports that Pritzker could be running for president in 2028. New data reveals that the U.S. economy shrank more than previously estimated. The GDP fell at an annual rate of 0.5% from January through March. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the free iHeartRadio app. I'm Mike Island on the Black Information Network.
Mid-City crash on the 10 eastbound at Crenshaw. These guys are out of lanes, but the drive is a mess out of Santa Monica, pushing back all the way from 20th Street. Also in Lincoln Heights, they're clearing this wreck on the 5 northbound at Broadway. Had been blocking the left lane. It should be off to the side and maybe even off of the freeway by now. But delays are pretty messed up all the way out of Commerce. So watch out there. Now, we're also looking at some slow traffic in Santa Fe Springs. There was a crash 605 northbound before the 5. Off to the shoulder, delays from the 105 freeway.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
75 years ago, in 1950, the NBA's color barrier was broken when the league drafted 3 black players. The families of the three players were honored Wednesday night during the first round of the 2025 NBA draft. In the 1950 draft, Chuck Cooper was a first-round pick of the Boston Celtics. Earl Lloyd was drafted by the Washington Capitals, and Nat Sweetwater Clifton was chosen by the New York Knicks. Lloyd has the distinction of being the first black player to play in an NBA game, which happened on October 31st, 1950. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed head coach Todd Bowles to a 3-year extension. The 61-year-old Bowles, one of 5 black head coaches in the NFL, will be under contract with Tampa Bay through the 2028 season. The other 4 black head coaches, Mike Tomlin at Pittsburgh, Aaron Glenn with the New York Jets, Houston's D'Amico Ryan, and Raheem Morris with Atlanta. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah,
Gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to building Civic Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, and he is Todd Belcore, the Executive Director of Social Change, an organization that has been doing a lot of great work on the front lines for a long time. You might be familiar with the Social Change Film Festival that they do every year. Is that coming up, Todd? Am I getting that right? Is that in the fall?
Yeah, it is in the fall. That's right. And it'll be coming in the middle of October. So look forward for the save the date, but looking forward to sharing more of the amazing films that we have to showcase with you and your audience.
Well, we can't wait to see it. Before the break, we've been talking a lot about the New York City mayoral race because, you know, what happens in New York could very well be coming to a city near you. Sure. We have talked to a lot of experts, a lot of activists, a lot of elected officials over the years about policing and public safety. And no doubt this will continue to be an important issue, particularly in local elections, because mayors have the power to appoint police chiefs and police commissioners. and they have the extraordinary power to push for the change that we so desperately need in our communities. Mr. Mamdani has proposed creating a Department of Community Safety, separate from the police, to respond to people having mental health crises. He says, look, I'm not going to take away money from the police. He says, I'm not going to defund the police. He said he would, however, curb the department's massive overtime budget, and that he would consider keeping Jessica Tisch on his police commission. Todd, what do you make of that? And if you were advising Mr. Mamdani politically, what should he watch out for?
I think anytime you're talking about crime and the police, I mean, it can be a political third rail, there's no question. So he's right to just outright say, I'm not going to defund the police. What I'm trying to do is provide additional supports for the police to help meet out and solve community conflicts so police can focus on the major crimes, so clearing murders, clearing these Class X felonies and things like that, because we hear a lot about shootings, but not a lot about catchings. So this will give police more time to focus on those higher level crimes while making sure inter-family matters, inter-community matters that can be resolved by community workers, by social workers, are actually done in that way, in a restorative way, in a way that promotes not only healing, but actually gets to the core of the problem responsible for the incident in the first place. And this is not necessarily a novel thing. This is something they're doing in the Pacific Northwest. There's something they're doing in different parts of America. So he's adopting this strategy, and I think it's going to work, not only because it's being framed as a supportive mechanism for the police, but also because he's being very explicit about not taking any money from the police or taking any responsibility from the police. He's just making sure that they know that they have additional tools in their belt in order to help and deal with the issue of public safety, but also community issues as well.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's solid advice. I hope Mr. Mamdani and his team are listening, because we certainly know that folks in Washington are listening. There's a lot of vitriol out there. I feel like there are folks in Washington that just specialize in vitriol. Earlier in the show, I pointed out that Representative Andy Ogles of Tennessee, I don't know if you saw the social media post, but he said, and I quote, Zohran Little Muhammad Mamdani is an anti-Semitic socialist communist who will destroy the great city of New York. He needs to be deported, all caps, which is why I'm calling for him to be subjected to denaturalization proceedings. Attached is my letter to AG Pam Bondi. Is this sort of next level racism, xenophobia, Islamophobia, and where are the Democrats, responding, saying, nope, not on our watch? Are you going to attempt to smear this guy just days after he won the New York primary election?
I think this makes Mamdani's ascent even more impressive because, anti-Muslim sentiment is almost at outside of September 11. It's ramped up under this recent administration, and to put him in the basket, all the most demonized groups of socialists, of communists, of Muslims, and all those things, and the express effort to isolate him, and even go so far as to say to denaturalize him, it just shows the level of sophisticated racism that's taking place here, to label him, dehumanize him, and put him in a position where people can treat him as less than a human. And it's unfortunate that that's rampant right now. And that's the problem with the polarization in this country, giving so much audience and space to people who are spouting basic hatred. So this is why it's important for Mamdani or any other candidate to actually have a chance to take advantage of ranked choice voting, because that means it's not just people throwing red meat who have a chance to shine. It's the people who can actually build the most bridges, build the most consensus, get enough support from the most different types of demographics, not just focus on one. And I think that could be a very scary thing for people in the extreme left or extreme right. And I think this is a natural reaction to that. So I won't be surprised if we see a lot more of this. But to your point, the Democrats and the Republicans both need to speak out against outright hatred in this forum. And certainly there's a right to free speech, I'm well aware, but making sure they condemn it and call it what it is, and continue to fight for decency and dignity in elections in terms of our intersocial and collegiality and politics.
Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you, another member of the U.S. House of Representatives also, calling attention to something that just ain't making sense. Jasmine Crockett says the math ain't mathing and has called out the double standard in Trump's immigration policies. She does not believe that the Trump administration is trying to restore integrity and security to the immigration process. No headline there. But this week, she came to the House Judiciary Committee hearing on restoring integrity and security to the visa process with receipts. She said the idea that Trump and many Republican colleagues want to restore integrity and security in the visa process is actually a joke. She says, since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family visas. Let me remind you all that Melania, the first lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, and Naomi level. She applied for and was given an EB-1 visa. Now, for folks who are less familiar, EB-1 visas or Einstein visas are employment-based first preference visas. And according to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, you qualify for an EB-1 visa if you're an alien of extraordinary ability or an outstanding professor or researcher or a certain multinational executive or manager, with each category having specific requirements. And so is this even going to matter? I mean, is this just fodder for the internet, or is it even going to matter that, the sitting member of the House has pointed out America's first lady may not have met the requirements for the visa that she currently enjoys?
I mean, I think you're right to bring it up, Dr. Cortez. At the end of the day, I mean, the hypocrisy is so flagrant that you have to highlight it. You have to shine a light on it, and at least force Republicans to sit with it and just kind of dance around it and look more ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is more about breeding terror than integrity. And that's certainly what's going on, whether it be places like Nebraska, where you saw that big raid that took place not long ago, where 75 workers are just rounded up. I mean, immigrants, without question, are the backbone of our food industry, of our agricultural industry, and without them, we literally starve. So, I mean, and the Republicans know that, the business community knows that, but everyone's too scared to speak up and out against President Trump to actually say something of force. So they're hoping they can just hold their head down and tread water long enough until he either moves on to another issue or until another president assumes the rank. So they can get back to business as usual. So in the meantime, though, she's right to shine the light on all these abhorrent inconsistencies, but also in the inhumane treatment of our people, of residents in this country, whether they're documented or not. Everyone deserves a chance to be treated with basic dignity. That's certainly not happening right now.
Todd, talk to us about how your organization, how social change has been responding to this moment. These ICE raids are not just limited to Los Angeles, where our home station is located, or my home state of California. I mean, everybody's feeling it. I had a guest on from Mississippi who was talking about the ICE raids and the effect it's having there. What effect is it having right now in Chicago, and how's your organization responding?
We're responding with love. In response to terror, we're responding with organizing. In response to state-sanctioned violence, we're doing what we can to advocate for our humanity, our common humanity, our common need for dignity, and trying to just pull on the people's most basic set of morality. I mean, no matter where you hail politically, you can see literally chasing people in the fields they worked on for 20 years and separating kids from their parents and all these kind of atrocious things that are happening now on a regular basis at record levels. It's just something that you have to speak out up against. So what we've been doing is working with not only our brown comrades, but LGBTQ plus and all our different marginalized communities to come together and say, we have to stand up now, because if they're coming for our undocumented brothers tonight, if we turn our backs to that and don't pay enough attention to that, they'll certainly be coming for us in the morning. So let's do everything we can on the front end to make sure we fight for all of our human rights, all of our dignity. And in this case, it seems like the undocumented and the profiling associated with people who appear to be undocumented is creating such a terror that we just cannot allow it to go. without speaking up, and doing what we can to represent people, give people sanctuary, and give people some peace.
Yeah, and I would add, it's not just impacting undocumented folks in our communities.
Right.
It is also affecting asylum seekers. Earlier today, I was actually having lunch, and the news was on, and I saw a story in West Los Angeles where an Iranian pastor had to witness members of his congregation there seeking asylum, detained by ICE agents. And this Iranian pastor was weeping about it. I mean, these are folks, who are Iranian Christians.
Yeah.
And had escaped Iran, where they were experiencing religious persecution. And they have been here in the United States, according to the report, less than a year. And ICE agents have detained them and may very well send them back. And so it's not just undocumented folks. It's not just asylum seekers, but we as Black folks, Black and brown folks, we have a long and sordid history with law enforcement too. And so, this is over policing, on steroids. Talk to us about, what is giving you hope in the midst of so much despair.
Yeah, I mean, you have to highlight the craziness and just how hypocritical it is to say Iran is, but for the administration to identify Iran as basically public enemy number one, the greatest terrorist country and the greatest conglomeration of terrorists in the entire world. But then when people flee that for that reason, that they're not given asylum, they're not even given a chance to pray, they're not even given a chance to build community in Christianity. And that sort of inconsistency is just what gets to the kind of depravity of it. So you're right. I mean, it's not just policy, it's actually this evil behavior that's making it very difficult to maintain not only hope, but also faith that this can be right set until a new president comes. So what we're doing now is making sure that we're building community, make sure people have places where they can be safe, where they won't be reported, where there is sanctuary, but also working to build more diverse coalitions to speak out and get more of our legislators in the middle and on the right and on the left to come together and say, enough is enough. We understand the point you're trying to make, but you're using a hammer for something that requires a surgical approach. Let's talk through what a surgical approach could look like without terrorizing entire communities and uprooting entire economic sectors. Let's see what we can do together. And so far, we're seeing some progress, but of course not enough, because people are still living in fear. People are still feeling terrorized by their own government. And that's something you should never have to say out loud and be a true fact like it is right now.
Our thanks to Todd Belcore, the Executive Director of Social Change. Where can people go to support your work, invest in your work, and show up alongside you on the front lines?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to share. Social change is committed to liberation, not of one people, but all people. My liberation is tied to your liberation. All marginalized communities, all people of all walks of life, we need to come together. I mean, you hear what's going on in our communities. To sit and do nothing is complacency. So we can't allow these things to happen without speaking up, speaking out, and doing something meaningful. So join us in the fight, whether you want to be involved in policy advocacy, some of our legal clinics, our free farmers markets, or telling stories for International Film Festival. We need you. Check us out at CHI Social Change, Shy Social Change on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, or of course, socialchange.site is our website, socialchange.site, and get involved.
You have been listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580, the quiet part out loud when we come forward. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, Dr. Quartelai.
Striving to make America a nation as good as its promise. This is A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Ready to order? Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One,
what's in your wallet.
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for
Texting
details.
enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
Hey, man. Hey, what's up, bro? What's that station you listening to? Oh, man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio. KBLA, 1580 AM. Check it out. 1580 KBLA AM. Talk Radio. Progressive.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Where you get some information, get a true education to know. Ooh, yeah. 1580.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
KBLA 1580 Talk Radio. Talk Radio. Progressive. KBLA.
We face tragedy, but we don't fall into despair. We continue our work to build a more perfect union.
You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. Look, we're all in this together, at least the community that we've been building here at KBLA, the community we've been building here on A More Perfect Union. And so when I saw this headline in the LA Times, I thought, wait a minute, like, why would taggers do this, right? I mean, there was so much unity, not just in the city of LA, but I felt like unity in so many places across the country and around the world following the death of Kobe and Gianna Bryant. And so I was scratching my head wondering, why is this a problem? Apparently, the artist Slow Motions created a beloved Kobe and Gianna Bryant mural, and LA taggers keep defacing it. It hurts the artist and hurts me. I'm sure it hurts a lot of people that were saddened with the sudden death of Kobe and Gianna Bryant. But artist Slow Motions vision for the memorial mural in honor of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna following their death in 2020, it brought the stretch of Main and 14th Streets to life with vibrant hues of purple and gold. One of the most well-known Kobe murals across Southern California, the art piece just outside of Jimmy Jam's T-shirts. It was the backdrop for a commercial for the Super Bowl featuring Vanessa Bryant, and has drawn fans from near and far for years. The mural has remained untouched. An unspoken mark of respect for the artist and the subject, but one that abruptly ended just this year. You see, in late March, according to the LA Times, someone tagged the artwork with large bubble letters outlined in black and filled in with white, a similar style to other street tagging visible across the city. Slow Motions, the artist, he went back to work, painstakingly restoring the mural. There was much fanfare in downtown when the new mural made its debut in late May, but within just a few days, it was again defaced. The artist is disappointed, but vows to restore it once again, this time in a new location. I want to say, if y'all see something, say something. I've seen that mural before, and chances are, to our leaders, learners, and listeners in LA, you have seen it as well. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful memorial to Kobe and Gianna. And shouldn't some things just be sacred? What did that mural do to you? You know, and look, nothing wrong with tagging, but like when you're tagging over people's art, really? That's what we're doing? That's what we shouldn't be doing. And so shout out to the artist, Slow Motions, for holding the vision for a mural like that, and for continuing to go back again and again and again to restore it. I understand that this isn't just happening with the Kobe mural, but apparently the Kendrick mural, the Nipsey Hussle murals, they've also been defaced. And so if you see something, say something. Something, please. Because this art should be sacred. That's what I think. And I have a feeling you might disagree. You might agree that you don't disagree. When we come forward in our next hour, some more of headlines that you shouldn't miss, particularly when it comes to entertainment news. And then I had a chance to talk to a Black shark expert. You don't want to miss that conversation, especially if you're going to be anywhere near the water. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Iden with BIN News Now. The White House confirms the FBI is investigating the leak of an intel report challenging the effectiveness of the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuke sites. The organization was looking to challenge the state from banning it from taking part in the Medicaid program because of the abortion care it provides. A heat dome impacting millions across the central and eastern U.S. is starting